Uh, I think I'm I think I'm having some internet issues here at the house, but anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of good memories with Krakow, and probably one of the nicest memories that I have was being a guest at the Royal Castle, Wawel Castle, which is spelled Wawel. And I'm sure if you go on YouTube and type in Wawel, Wawel, which we would pronounce Wawel Castle, but it's a Wawel Castle. I'm sure if you search Wawel Castle, Krakow, right there up near the top somewhere, you'll probably see my video. And I was a guest there for 3 nights, and I stayed in a rather modest room. Stayed in a rather modest room that the former president of France, Charles de Gaulle, stayed in. And every morning I would wake up and I'd look out my window, and I'd see the little people. I'd see the little people, also known as tourists. I'd see the I'd see the little people walking down in the courtyard, looking up at the castle. And I'm just joking about the little people. We're all little people. But anyway, yeah, good memories about Krakow. I've got a lot of good memories about a lot of good places. But anyway, I got to tell you, thank you for those of you that shared your kind words about yesterday's morning thoughts. Um, it's interesting when you do these videos. The more sincere you are with your thoughts, the more sincere you are, the more open you are, the more no, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. The more you put yourself out there, I think that a lot of people appreciate that. They appreciate that, and they think it takes courage to throw yourself out there, such as I do sometimes. But anyway, thanks for the words of encouragement. And it's an adjustment. It really is. It's an adjustment going from one day having somebody as wonderful and special as Rosanna in your life, to the next day just waking up in an empty house, by yourself. It is a it's an adjustment to say the very least. And I was going down to the pool last night. I was going down to the pool last night, and I was thinking about that, and I was feeling sorry for myself, and I found myself thinking that here I am alone again, you know, alone again. And it's so easy to point fingers. It's so easy to point fingers and say, well, if this person did that or that person did that, and whatever. But ultimately, sometimes you have to point the finger at yourself, and and examine your own tendencies or habits or ways of thinking, and what have you, and learn and grow from your mistakes. So anyway, it's an unfortunate situation. The thing with the situation with Roseanne, and I can't say that I don't miss her, because I do miss her. But anyway, I just wish that her and I had been able to find a way to just compromise, on our varying expectations or desires of lifestyles. And I just wish that somehow or another we had been able to to come to an understanding, or a compromise. And I assure you that it wasn't a situation where it was Tom's way or the highway. It wasn't that at all. But anyway, I'm not about to come on YouTube and share more information than need be or should be regarding that situation. But anyway, hmm, on another note, you know what? Either I'm getting old, either I'm getting older, or it's just becoming crazy out there. It really is. I mean, I remember back in the day. I remember back in the day, barreling down the road and just becoming endlessly frustrated at the old fart that was driving along, just holding up traffic and all that type of stuff, and just getting frustrated and thinking, damn, they should take his license away. You know, what's that? That guy doesn't belong on the road. That kind of stuff. And here I am now at 56. And the other day I was driving down the highway, which is I-75 here in Florida, and there's about 3 lanes. I think there's about 3 lanes at its widest, and people just fly like bats out of hell. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, there's very little police presence. The highway patrol or the police are few and far between, and I'm doing, generally speaking, I do the speed limit. I do the speed limit, or a little bit above the speed limit, maybe a few miles above the speed limit. Um, and generally speaking, I stay in either in the center or the far right lane. Usually the center lane. I don't. I'm not a fool to do the speed limit in the fast lane. But generally speaking, I'll do the speed limit a little bit above the speed limit, and it's just incredible. People just fly down that highway like bats out of hell, and it's just crazy. The other day I was moving along, and there were two people coming along at 80 miles an hour, and there wasn't even a car's length between the two of them. And I just looked at that and I thought, oh my God, that's an accident waiting to happen. And sometimes I think I'm an accident waiting to happen. Oh goodness gracious! But and then you get off the highway, and that's a whole nother story. Down here, they have these expressways. There are parkways rather. They have these parkways, and the parkways are like 3 lanes, and speed limit is supposed to be about, I think, 45, on these parkways. But I'll be damned if people aren't doing 60, 65 miles an hour. And it's just crazy, and maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm just getting old, or maybe I've just reached a point in time in my life where, seldom am I in a hurry to get anywhere. I'm not. It's not too often that I find myself feeling in a hurry to get anywhere, and I can understand. At 56, sometimes I fear for my life pulling out of the driveway in my car, and I can understand, people, as they get older, and their thought process, their decision making ability or thought process isn't what it used to be, and the highways could be rather intimidating, But anyway, that's why there's something to be said. That's why there's something to be said about the. That's why there's something to be said about living in the small, living in the small town, like Gardner, like Gardnerville, Nevada. I keep coming back to Gardnerville, Nevada, and who knows? Maybe one day I'll relocate to Gardnerville, Nevada. But anyway, that was that. That was pretty much that was pretty much all that was on my mind. But mm, with that being said, I'm going to get on with my day. I'll do the question of the day. And Alexa, what's the question of the day?
Welcome back. Here is today's question of the day. The topic is general knowledge. It is worth 1 point. The phrase, leaves of 3, let them be, helps people avoid which type of plant? Choose from the following. A. Rose bushes. B. Venus flytrap. C. Corpse flower. Or D. Poison ivy.
Repeat, please.
Okay, here is the question again. The phrase, leaves of 3, let them be, helps people avoid which type of plant? You can answer A. Rose bushes. B. Venus flytrap. C. Corpse flower. Or D. Poison ivy.
I'm sorry. Repeat, please.
I didn't catch that. You can choose from A. Rose bushes. B. Venus flytrap. C. Corpse flower. Or D. Poison ivy.
What is poison ivy?
Fantastic. You have earned your 9th general knowledge badge in 1 point. Poison
Me, me and poison ivy and we've got history. Unfortunately, I've had more run-ins with poison ivy or poison oak than I care to talk about. But yeah, so I got distracted by the comment. And in the large cities, you're absolutely right. It's it got when I was coming back from my trip and coming out of what was it, Connecticut, coming out of Rhode Island and Connecticut into New Jersey and New York. Oh my God, how people choose to subject themselves to that. Not everybody it's a clear cut choice. I mean, some people are just stuck. Some people are just stuck in places like that, and that's unfortunate. But I just couldn't do that. Just give me the wide give me the wide open road. I've got a dream. I've got a dream of one day just having a nice little property with a little bit of land. Those of you that have followed me know that I once was a farmer. Farmer in that I had a big community garden that I had built, and it is just a beautiful garden. And boy, if I had the if I had the ability just to quote unquote get away from it all in a realistic manner, to get away from it all in a realistic manner, um, I would find myself a good woman, get myself a little dog, and and buy a modest little house. It wouldn't have to be anything special. Buy myself a modest little house with a little, just with a little bit of land, a nice temperate climate, and just sit on the porch, but go to Cracker Barrel and buy myself one of those, well, maybe two. Might buy myself a couple of those rocking chairs that they sell outside of Cracker Barrel, and have a little front porch, and watch the beans grow. watch the watch the beans grow, and just let the world go to hell in a handbasket. I wouldn't care as long as my beans were growing. That's it. But boy, that would be my dream. Hmm. That would be my dream, to live in a place where I could have both a a winter garden with winter vegetables, somewhat of a temperate climate where it's not too cold, not too hot. Isn't that what Dorothy said about her porridge or something like that? Uh, but uh, but anyway, to have a good woman, a front porch with a couple rocking chairs from Cracker Barrel, and and a nice little garden. Of course, it would have to be within driving distance to. Of course, it would have to. It would have to be within driving distance to Costco. You'd have to be you'd have to be in somewhat close proximity to a Costco and a Starbucks, or as Oksana would say, a uh, a Dunkin' Donuts. Every time I see a Dunkin' Donuts, interestingly enough, every time I see a Dunkin' Donuts, more times than not, I think of Oksana. Because she was, if I'm not mistaken, sometime back on my trip this summer, she was writing me a little bit about Starbucks as opposed to Dunkin' Donuts. And Oksana, I don't know if you, those of you that tune in every day, caught that, but yesterday Oksana, surfaced. She made a comment on my video yesterday. So Oksana, if you're still out there and you're still watching the videos, people have missed you. Myself, self included. People have missed your wonderful input into our little conversations. But anyway, it's nice to know you're still well and good. So, all right, folks. Anyway, take good care. Have a great day. All right. All right. Bye bye.